Hi, everyone. It's Katie Seppi here. Welcome to, I don't know what edition this is or what episode of What's Brewing, but it's been a while. So, welcome and thank you so much for joining me today. I have a super exciting mystery guest today, and I can't see the comments or anything yet. So, I'm hoping that the pages are loaded up with people that were wondering what's brewing and who is going to be the guest today. So stand by because I'm going to bring her on. Get ready. Hey, look who it is. Whoop, whoop.
Everyone's like, we see her way too much.
Heidi's in the house.
Right.
Yeah. So, I think, first of all, thank you for joining me today because we've been talking about doing this for a while.
Weeks
Yeah,
and weeks.
weeks.
Yeah.
And yesterday when we were listening to, I think it was the training, and you were talking about doing the lives and stuff. And I thought, oh boy, like I better get this done. I've been talking about it for weeks before your calendar is booked up because I know how popular you are. So anyway, thank you for joining me. I love to be able to have a few minutes with someone that I can highlight. And when it comes to you, you work so hard at kind of pushing all of us and highlighting us that I feel like we need to take the time to highlight you because not only you are who you are, but you have helped certainly me, and I know a lot of people along the way. So for the people that are out there, I'm broadcasting this on a couple different pages, so I have a variety of folks that are listening to this. They're all my pages until it's shared. But if you don't know me, my name is Katie Seppi. I just was about to say I live in Bonnie Lake, Washington, but I really don't anymore because we just sold our house. And so I currently am in Florida, which has been wonderful. Have you ever been in Florida during the holiday season? Kind of different for me, for sure. But I've been in network marketing for years. And this lady, Heidi Whitehair, who you see with me today, was instrumental in like getting me, moving, I guess. I spent a lot of years following you and hanging around the flagpole. And, when people say timing is everything, it really is because, I was slow. It took about a decade, but I needed to be around everybody, even though I wasn't doing, maybe building the business like some people were. I needed to be connected to the tribe. So, before I even like get in and let you talk, I just want to say thank you for that because we are different people. That my husband and I, Andy and I, are different people today because of you, our tribe, the company, the business, the whole package. So anyway, so thank you very much. So welcome to What's Brewing. And if you could just take a minute and kind of, for the people that maybe don't know who you are, tell a little bit about yourself and your story.
I would love to. So thank you for inviting me. And it's fun to do these things with someone I know and love. And Katie and I go way, way, way back. So thank you for inviting me. We've been talking about doing this for weeks. And you just get busy and things happen. So we finally made it happen today. But my name is Heidi Whitehair and I live in the Seattle, Washington area. Wife, mom, grandma, and company owner. I have been in the network marketing industry for 23 years. Started because I had a sick baby. That baby's now 23 years old because he had some issues being born early in the NICU, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. And I discovered the power of nutrition and just giving your body what it requires to do what it's naturally meant to do. And unfortunately, we live in a world that's not getting better. It's getting worse as far as nutrition's concerned. And I saw such a dramatic difference in him. And of course, myself, because I was doing the products, I was nursing him actually when I started. And then my husband started dipping into the products. And Ken is a captain for Seattle Fire. And he, thought he didn't need nutrition, all that kind of stuff. And once he started it, he was like, well, does it help with this, 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 and this? And our lives just changed. And because our lives changed, we started sharing it with our friends and family who shared it with their friends and family and neighbors. And, I had a daycare for 10 years. So shared it with my daycare parents. And, I really feel like more today than I did 23 years ago with myself as an example, that we all need something. We all need a helping hand in some way. And, Katie and I go back, and she'll probably tell you a little bit more about this because of our kids growing up together in the same school district, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Katie, especially Katie and Andy, but especially Katie, hung around the flagpole for a lot of years. But you know what? When you're ready, and the personal growth that happens to people, you just never go back to who you were before. And it's not about my timing. It was about her timing. And it's just a privilege and honor when you know and love somebody and you watch them get healthy and change their life. Whew, what's better than that?
It's crazy. And I was just sitting here thinking, I don't even know what year it was when I started, hanging around the flagpole. I do remember Saturday morning meetings every Saturday at 10 a.m. And ladies, do not show up in jeans.
Yeah.
I mean, we were running a business, right? Even though I wasn't working the business, I mean, I was dabbling, but mostly I was in it for me because I was so unhealthy. And looking back at the pictures, so was Andy, but we didn't know that. So that's a story for a different day. But I was just sitting here thinking, do you know, you probably don't know this because I don't think we all see things differently. I was almost 100 pounds heavier at that time than I am now.
Wow.
Really close. Wow. Really.
What's funny is I don't remember you being, because 100 pounds on us little, tight ladies, yes. 100 pounds is a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And I never saw you that way. And honestly, Katie, I never would have picked out the word unhappy, unhealthy, a hot mess. Yeah. None of those things would have come out of my mouth in describing you and Andy. Yeah. You guys hit it very well.
Yeah.
But I look back on Ken and I, we desperately needed something to come into our lives. And I think when you open the door for that to happen, God provides, because I'm telling you, how I found nutrition was such a crazy way. But then when, you say you've helped so many people, all you do is lead by example. You take care of yourself first. So putting that oxygen mask on so you can help others, and then just help them where they're at, love them where they're at. Yeah. Don't push anyone into doing what you want them to do when you want them to do it. Encourage them in their timing, that you will always be there when they're ready.
Yeah. Well, and when you look at people, like you said, like you didn't know, and I think you've said this about you guys too. It's like you're living paycheck to paycheck, but on the outside you look great. Right. So you just don't know. So don't prejudge.
Yep.
I think that we often think too that if we're thin, we're healthy, and if we're heavy, we're not. Now, I do believe if we're overweight, you're probably not healthy, but it's not what makes you healthy or not, right? So you can't prejudge people for their health needs, what supplements they might need, and if they might need an extra $100 a month. Because let me tell you, when we first started, I remember it was a liquid vitamin back in the day, but I want to say it was $54, which was like $1 million, because we didn't have $54. Yeah. And I bought one bottle at a time, because that's all I could afford. And I really don't even know how I paid for that. I'm pretty sure we didn't pay our power bill or something, but we didn't have the money. I mean, we have five kids. We lived paycheck to paycheck, and partly because we were a hot mess. We were not organized and made bad decisions and things like that. So you just got to start where you can. And I know sometimes, and I'm sure you hear this, people will look at you and say, well, of course she can do that because she's Heidi and she's been doing it forever. But you started day one. What would you say to somebody that is just starting out like you?
Well, first off, I have to say, if you knew us back then, we had a nice home. We drove a nice car. Ken was an officer for Seattle Fire. I had a full-time daycare. I drove a new mom van. So it wasn't like, on his last legs or anything. we looked good from the outside looking in, but we were paycheck to paycheck. And we had just had our third child. And so I had my own mini daycare on top of, taking care of 8 kids. I was exhausted all day long. I, didn't have time for my own family at the end of the day. And when I found this product, it was really more about Kyle because he had some pretty severe breathing issues. And when it was eavesdropping on a conversation, I found supplements. No one was actually talking to me. I was being nosy, but they were talking about this vitamin, the one you're talking about. And I thought, what if this is what I've been looking for? And I don't at least I don't at least invite her to my house. So I did. And my husband hid in the bedroom with our 3 kids and said, I don't want any of that snake oil. I don't need it. And, we can't afford it type thing. And I took a chance and it changed our lives. So the thing I would say, I was super shy. My first meeting, Ken said, there is no way that you can stand up and talk in front of a room. And my sponsor came over and she started sharing about the products and stuff. And all I knew was I felt good. Like I felt good. My energy was up and I was feeling really good. And so was my baby. And at the end of the meeting, she was really technical. She was super smart and just knew all the details. And I thought, I can't do that. Like I don't even have brain power to do all that. Right. And Ken said, share how you feel. And so that's all I did. I thought I can do that. So I just shared with people how I felt. And I had all my friends and family like saying, oh, we live in the pediatrician's office, or we're always missing work, or gosh, I'd love to lose 10 pounds. I haven't slept through the night since the baby was born. Like all of those things. And I realized every person out there is just like me. Everyone wants or needs something in their life. And so take the skepticism, just set it aside, give yourself 30 days. I'm here to tell you, it will tell you everything you need to know, yay or nay. And it just might be the very thing that you've been looking for. And if you don't take a look, it may just pass you by and you'll never have that chance.
Yeah. It's interesting to me, and I've done this before too. We'll buy something off the shelf or that our doctor prescribes or whatever, and not even think about it. And I mean, I've bought vitamins and supplements in the store before, and never once did I ask the cashier, are you sure that there's not too much turmeric in that? Or whatever. And so
our brains work like that.
And so it's just mindset. And now that we've learned so much, and I mean, we don't know everything for sure, but here's what I do know. I had somebody tell me once, well, that's just all in your head. Okay. Well, in my head, I lost, almost 100 pounds then, and I look and feel better. I mean, you can look at that however you want to look at that. And I feel like, I feel better. My family feels better. My husband is healthier than ever. Wow. And, we've been able to take down some medications and levels and get rid of some between, a good lifestyle and living clean and quality supplements. And so, I just feel like, our body is meant to heal itself if you give it, what it needs. And as a matter of fact, we just, Andy, lost a family member today, actually. And we were actually talking this morning about, it seems like at this, we're in 2021, people should be living longer than they used to because of everything we know, but it's quite the opposite. Like people aren't.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to look at that and wonder why. And so for me, I just go with the supplements, which I use the patches, obviously, and no one can take that away from me. Like, so, but I do think your mind is very powerful. If you believe it will work, if you believe it won't,
absolutely. So. Well, and don't you think that, we have a naturopathic doctor on staff, obviously, that does all the education. We have formulators and manufacturers that have more initials behind their name than we ever thought of. So they get to do all the hard stuff. We get to do the fun stuff, and that's just share the results. But we, if you stop and think about it, our bodies were meant to be nourished with foods, right? What we eat is what's supposed to nourish our bodies.
Right.
Well, great grandparents and their parents had nutrition in their foods. Like they didn't have this fast paced society. They didn't have where every apple in the store looks the same because they're genetically modified. Like
Mm-hmm.
we just live in a different world. But I think about like a hamster on a wheel. Like our life in general in 2021, we're just running faster on this hamster wheel. And
Mm-hmm.
nobody's stopping to think about what our bodies require to do the things, like you said, just our bodies are supported. And when they're supported, they fix themselves,
Mm-hmm.
basically, in a nutshell. But what happens when we are around chemicals? Maybe we take medications, maybe we live in a very toxic environment, stress, hormones, environment, depending on where you live, just all of those things go into our whole health picture. If we're sleeping properly, if we smoke, those kinds of things. And, so we've gotten worse as we've gotten, 2021 versus like when
Mm-hmm.
I were born, we were born
Yep.
here. Um, Life is just different and it's so much more fast paced. So unfortunately, like you said, we should be living longer, but
Yeah.
we're not. And
But we're not.
this next generation of kids, they're saying it's the first generation that will not live as long as their parents.
Yeah.
So let
Well, and shame on us if we don't do something about that. So,
100%.
I mean, that's one thing. I'm, thrilled about the patch itself and the technology of the patch because remember the stuff we used to drink? It
Oh,
didn't taste very good.
yeah, no,
And I did it because, if it tastes good, they probably added a bunch of stuff to it that you shouldn't be having. So,
exactly.
but we took away every obstacle. Like, it hurts your
Taste,
belly. You have to eat first. You don't like the taste. I'm a big kind of texture person. So I struggled a little bit. So now, I mean, imagine, when our kids were little, if you had, you just cut it and stick it on. Like our grandkids, I know your grandson
yeah,
wears the patches too, and our grandkids do as well. And they're like, I mean, Pearson, she's 9 months old. And so you can cut them. Um, and our other grandkids, they've been, well, since the beginning, so over a year they've been wearing them. And so they wouldn't be getting the nutrition that they need if it wasn't for the patch.
no,
So I'm just super thankful because, I mean, you don't want to tackle a kid and try and get him to swallow something icky. And you certainly don't want to feed him full of sugar and dyes, which is in some of the other stuff. And if you can tackle them long enough to put a sticker on, and they get to be an innovator gator and get those prizes in the mail and stuff like that. So I think it's pretty cool. The other thing I really love about it is, someone like my mom that, elderly folks have struggles sometimes
swallowing.
swallowing. And
Absolutely.
so, and a lot of people have issues
Yeah.
swallowing
My mom
pills, let's
did.
be real.
Hmm.
And so when you can just put that on, um, and that's it, and she doesn't have to worry about it. I mean, even if they have a caretaker or something, how easy is that, right? So I mean, I love that. The other thing I just want to point out for people that are new to the idea of wearing a patch, patches are not new. I mean, doctors have been using patch stuff for years. This technology is different
Hmm.
for sure. But if you think about it, I mean, if you're handling some sort of chemical, why do they tell you to put gloves on?
Hmm.
It's because stuff absorbs through your skin.
Skin is your
So,
biggest organ. Yeah.
so if you think of it that way, of course, if you put it on, it's going to absorb. So, I wear mine on my arm. Sometimes I wear them up here, but everybody kind of has their own thing. But I feel like whatever works for you on that muscle above your heart, so it heats up and opens it up. And I don't know. If I miss a day, which is never intentional, but I am sort of on vacation right now, so my schedule's a little wonky, I can tell.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I absolutely can tell. I wear all the patches, but for anybody out there that's looking at maybe trimming down through the holidays instead of waiting until January, get your Ignite patches because I'm telling you, one day without those, it is noticeable how much they curb your appetite.
Oh,
So
for sure.
even if you, I know sometimes we want to say like, oh, after the first of the year, for me, I'm going into the holidays curbing my appetite,
Yes.
because even if I might not exercise as much, or I might be put in a position where I get some extra goodies, it curbs your appetite and takes the sweet craving away. So those kind of things, I just love how simple it is. There's something for everybody. Um, I do want to ask you, I know probably this answer is different every day. What's your favorite patch?
I think right now, because we're in the middle of doing what Katie and Andy did, was selling their house. We're actually going to sell both of our homes and become gypsies for a little while. We just bought a bunch of property, so there's a lot happening. Right, the company's growing
Mhm.
in leaps and bounds. We have a pregnant daughter who, by the way, uses all the patches with her doctor's blessing. Our little grandson gets a hug, lift up his shirt, slap his patch on. There you go. Um, so CBD, I think the CBD, and for anybody out there that is an essential worker, a first responder, my husband, like I said, captain for Seattle Fire for almost 33 years, he would tell you it has saved his life. Me as a business owner, mom, grandmother to now soon to be two little boys, and all of the things that my life is richly blessed by. I can't imagine going without the CBD. I do one in the morning with the rest of my patches, and I do one before I go to bed at night. So love, love, love my CBD.
Yeah, I mean, my answer to that is different on any given day
Yes.
and
Yes.
moment to moment, but what I notice, and I think I shared this with you the other day, I've been feeling really out of sorts, I think from travel. Like we sold our house, we're not in our new place yet,
Whirlwind. Yeah.
and we're kind of the gypsy
Adjusting.
life. I mean,
Yeah.
we're on vacation right now, and we're in Florida with Hampton and Ethan, so that's wonderful, and we're of course enjoying that. But I didn't really realize until you and I were talking about that kind of uneasiness. I've had to up my CBD because I feel, I don't even know how to explain it, but it made me realize I must have been very anxious my entire life before I started using CBD. And I
Without
was just
knowing.
used to feeling that way.
Yeah.
And so when it creeps up on me, and of course you have mother's worry and I'm away from my other kids and all that stuff, you know what it's like.
Yeah. Your
The
life is
CBD is a
different. Mhm.
lifesaver
Yeah.
for me too. So,
Yeah.
and of course, all the other ones. So, okay, so let's see. One more question for you. So I'm going to look at my notes here. So, if you, what would you say, I guess, to somebody that was looking at maybe making a change in their work life, like I did. I left the comfort of the
Yeah.
paycheck
Yeah.
and took the leap. Like, and you, of course, did that years ago as well and have been doing it for years. What would you say to somebody that's like, should I, shouldn't I?
That's such a big question because I think we go through life in a comfort zone. And like as you know, I just wrote a book and talked about this. I was raised by a single mom that worked 2 and 3 jobs and never got ahead. And it was normal for us to come home from school and not have, power or water. And I just watched that whole system of working, more than 40 hours for sure. Her, all of our growing up life and never getting ahead. I just didn't want that to be me. So I have done every job under the sun since I started working with her at 13. Daycare was a way to stay home with my daughter, Kendall, when I had her. Life change for me. It wasn't about, yes, I needed to provide support and buy her diapers. Like that was a
Yeah.
given, but I didn't want to miss her first step. I didn't want to miss all of the things that you get to enjoy with being a mom. And so when my daycare provider said you could do daycare, I was like, I could do something other than being an employee. Like
Yeah.
that's what you think. And then daycare just kind of introduced to me being your own boss. And I thought, who's going to work harder for me than me? Like it's my family. So I think when network marketing kind of came around, I didn't know anything about it, nothing. I didn't know anyone that did it. All I knew is I loved this product. I saw such a difference in my son, and I shared it with other people who wanted it. And my sponsor just kept planting the seed of, you could make a really good income with this. And you guys, I was able to quit my daycare in about 3 months' time. I made a really good income there, but it then gave me time freedom for not only that baby that I just had, but my 2 girls. And I was able to work in classrooms and have the time freedom to go and do and be what I wanted to do. And for me, I would never be an employee again. It wasn't scary. Absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
But if you're not scared, if your goals don't scare you at least a little, like I'm so proud of you and Andy, because not very many people can just say, we're going to live the gypsy life for a while and just see where we live. Like that is so incredibly inspiring to me. And because, everyone just wants to like do the 40-40-40 plan, like their life, and they get to the end of their life and they have so many regrets.
Yeah.
And I just don't be that person.
I didn't want to be that person either. And I'll tell you, I will be 59 years old this month. Mm-hmm. And I feel better at 59, almost 59 than I did at 40 for sure. Go back and look at my social media, people, because pictures do not lie.
Nope.
And I think the biggest thing through this journey is is it our health? Yeah, absolutely. It's been huge. But if you talk to Andy, he would tell you it's the personal growth. Absolutely. And honestly, the personal growth is what kind of allowed us to make the decision, because, I don't drive a new car. Well, I don't drive a car at all now. I don't even have a car. But my car before I just sold it was paid off. So, if you don't have, we didn't have debt. And so, but we live a pretty simple life. Now, don't get me wrong. We had to dig ourselves out of a hole, because when we were living the crazy life and we were unhealthy everywhere. Right. Like our finances, our household, our health. All of it, And so it took a couple decades to figure that out, but that's why we were able to make the leap of faith. But we wouldn't be able to do it without the opportunity that we have through innovative nutrition, because, this is a job we can work from anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And whether you want to make a couple thousand a month or 20,000 a month or whatever it is you choose to make. Mm-hmm. And I know some people are listening to me right now going, 20,000 a month. Are you kidding me right now? I'm here to tell you that is more than possible. We launched with this patch technology March 16th of 2020 when the country started shutting down. We have only been in business during a pandemic, and we have literally have 6-figure income earners our first year. And that is because everyone is focused on 2 things: health, because you guys, until you have a health concern, some people just don't pay attention to it. Yeah. But with the whole world and what's happened, people are paying attention more than ever, and they should. And number 2, everyone has been stuck at home. And with this business, I could be on a boat in the middle of the Mediterranean if I wanted doing my business. I could be on a plane. I could be in Florida. I could be in Washington. I could be in Montana. Yep. I could do this business from anywhere I choose to do it. And it's all for $49.95. You set up a business and then go to work. You choose. Yeah. Want to make a little, want to make a lot, yeah. Work a little, work a lot.
Yeah. And you don't have to know every single detail. I have a little bit of a green personality, so I want the who, what, when, where, why. And I've had to learn, if somebody asks, I don't know how my car works either, but I drive it. Yeah. I don't need to know every single detail. If I don't know the answer to something that somebody asks me, I call you, yeah. I look on the pages. There's tons of leaders in the company that are resources to me. So for anybody that is looking for something, this is a good place to start, because I really believe, from working from home the last year and a half, or almost 2 years now since the lockdown, right? I had a really good city job. Yeah. And I left that job in August or September. I can't remember now, but I knew from the day we locked down that I was not going back.
Yeah.
And I told them that I told them that every day.
Yes, I remember you telling
Because I can't, it wasn't the job. Like I had a good job. I had a good team of people. My boss was great. The pay was great, benefits, all that stuff. I was never going to be on River Road at 6:15 in the morning ever again, commuting to Tacoma. I just wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think as I talk to people, a lot of people feel that way.
I agree.
So as people start rolling back into the office life, I think people are looking for something like this because they got a taste of what it's like to work from home and they don't want to go back.
And be in charge of their own future. Because how many people lost their jobs? How many people got furloughed or laid off or whatever, or lost their businesses?
Oh gosh, yeah.
And with Innovative, because you're your own boss, you get to do it however you want to do it. Nobody can fire you but you. And whether you want to make, like I said, a little or a lot, it didn't change for us. Our job description, if you will, is really just use the patches and share your results with other people. That's as hard as it is.
Yeah. And with our app and the new things that were added to the app for the sampling program, made it even easier. The thing I really love about that, I mean, not only is the whole thing easy, but you can offer a sample. That doesn't cost me anything to offer it. Just offer it.
Right.
You don't even have to buy the credits. I mean, you just offer it. You could say, get 4 people, I'm going to buy 4 credits. And I love that you can just offer it. They send you all the information. If I can figure it out, because I'm not a techie, I know just enough to be dangerous and I have to call on my kids if it's too complicated. But I can do it because the system is set up that you just click and go on every single thing. And, not many companies, I believe, offer that kind of app for free.
Agreed.
We get that. We pay $49.95 a year to have a big, fancy website and an app and training and all that stuff. So anyway, I could go on and on. I already talked for 15 minutes longer than I planned, which if anybody knows me, they kind of knew that was the way it was going to be. But I just think that, the opportunity that we have with Innovative, the company itself and the patches and the comp plan, of course, but we get you and Ken and we get Barb and Dave. I mean, that kind of training and for us with the personal growth, I mean, not everybody gets that. And I think we're going to see you a little more out in the field than we did in the past because you've been, doing your CEO gig. And so now I think we're going to see you more out and about. And with the world, I feel opening up a little bit. Maybe we'll get a little more belly to belly stuff.
For sure.
I'm super excited about that part of it too. So any last words you want to say to the folks before we take off?
I would. Most people that are watching right now don't know me. But trust me when I say this, we get to go around the world, in this lifetime one time. And whether you choose to live a safe life and be in your comfort zone, I was the epitome of someone in my comfort zone. I was scared to death to go right, to go left. And the quality of life that's waiting for you with the time freedom and the financial freedom to do what you want to do for your family, for yourself, and just be all you can be, why not? Why not take the leap of faith? You can always go back to the safe job. If it's something that doesn't work for you or whatever, but man, try it because you just don't know what's waiting for you.
Yeah. It's so exciting. I mean, I would sign up again.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Today. Yeah, I'm loving it. Well, thank you for spending time with me today. And for anybody that's watching this, if you even heard a little something that you think is like, what if, just reach out to me. Yeah. Put it in the comments. And for, I see, comments in the thread already from other promoters. If the promoters, if you want to share this video outside of Facebook, I'm going to put this on our YouTube channel too. So you can share away because we are all in it to help everybody. So we're one team. You don't get that everywhere. I know you don't. And so we will all rise together. So that's it for today. That is what's brewing.
That's what's brewing. Thank you, Katie, for inviting me.
Thank
Thanks,
you. I love
everyone.
you.
Have a good day. Love you.
Bye.